Hi guys, my name's Craig, welcome to Small Farmer Life. Looks like we're in for a bit of rain, maybe a shower or two, but hopefully you're all having an awesome day and you've found some land or you're looking to find some land. Maybe you've already started your small farm. Today guys, I want to talk about chicken tractors and why I think they're the best alternative to free-ranging chickens. Now, before anybody goes crazy with me because they're not free ranging, I do have a quarter acre field at the top with a 6-foot fence around it with 200 birds in free ranging. Pure breeds, hybrids, guinea fowl, all in there living happy lives. But so are these guys in these chicken tractors. Now, the reason I keep these guys in chicken tractors and not free ranging is because, well, I sell pure breed fertile hatching eggs, pure breed chicks and those sorts of things. So to keep the integrity of the breed pure, I need to keep them separated, and I couldn't let the French Wheatons and the light Sussex cockerels and the buff Sussex cockerels all just roam around. They'd start fighting over the ends, and well, I don't know if you've seen a light Sussex after it's had a fight, it doesn't look like a light Sussex anymore. But before we get into the video guys, if you're thinking about starting a small farm, maybe you want to start a small farm from scratch like me, maybe you want to start a small farming business, or maybe you want to buy some land, start a small holding and live on the small holding. Maybe you want to buy some woodland, start a forestry business and live in the woodland. Or maybe you want to hide from the powers that be for 4 years and 1 day and claim the right of lawfulness. If you're thinking about doing anything like that guys, think about hitting the subscribe button. Go back, check out some of the videos I've already uploaded to the channel. You might find some useful information in those videos, and also hit the bell button. But chicken tractors are a great alternative to free ranging your hens. For the simple fact is, they get fresh pasture because they're moved every single day. The grass grows back so the chickens can go back onto that pasture. They get to eat the grass, which they love. They get to scratch around every single morning for bugs and grubs, which they love because they are omnivores, so they like to eat the grass, the fresh grass tips. And this pasture, this field, is cut regular, and in the summertime too regular when you're walking behind the mower. But the chickens appreciate it. They like short grass. They get plenty of grit out the ground, but you do have to give them a bit of oyster shell now and then. You have the layers pellets and you have fresh water. The drinkers are just on the top because I'm treating the birds at the moment, and you have to take the water away from them, so when you treat them they drink all the water because the treatment's in the water. But the hens are always healthy looking when they're in these chicken tractors. They never feather peck, and if there is one that's been a bit boisterous, well, the hens can get away from the one that's been boisterous, being a bit of a bully, jump onto the roosting pole or go into the coop at the back. Now, these chicken tractors are quite substantial, I think, for the amount of birds that are in them. There's 10 birds in each one, and I wouldn't put more than 12 in any one chicken tractor. The chicken tractor itself is 4.2 meters long and 2.4 meters wide. And the reason they're that size is because those are the standard lengths of timber in the UK. So you're not wasting any money and you're not wasting any timber. You can buy the standard lengths, and it's pretty easy to build when you've got the standard lengths and there's no cutting involved. There is some cuts involved, but not as many. If you bought, let's say, 3 meter lengths and you had to cut them down to 2.4 meters. But the wire is not wire, it's a really tough plastic that they use on motorways called geogrid. So they use it on motorways and roads, and it goes under all the sub base and spreads the load, and that is really hard to cut through. Now, people will say, why don't you use chicken wire and that sort of thing? Foxes will rip the way through that thin chicken wire that you see, and it looks scruffy unless you're really good at pulling it. But if you pull it dead tight, if a fox comes, it'll get through it. It'll make a little hole and it'll force its way through it. I guarantee a fox will not get through that geogrid. It's one of the toughest plastics I've ever messed around with, and I have to cut it with a grinder to cut it pretty fast. but it stretches quite well over the frame. Now the frame's 2x2 timber. It's built as one full chicken tractor. It's not built sectional, so you couldn't take it apart and move it pretty easy. It would have to go on the back of a van that big. And the back, the coop area is 1 metre by 2.4 metres. Inside of that it has a roosting pole and 2 nest boxes. The bottom has a rail going along the bottom, which is 150mm by 22mm. And that's the sacrificial bit of the chicken tractor, so that hits the floor. And then the 2x2 frame is about 2 inches off the floor. So that hits the bottom of the floor, and that's a bit that'll rot. You can take that off and replace it with a new bit. At the back, there's pneumatic tyres. They've got bearings in them, so they move really easily. You can move one of these up and down the field in no time. You can move one in about 10 seconds, less than that. I can move one with one arm, but I'm 18 stone and not everybody's 18 stone. But at the rear there's 2 large doors. It has a piece of timber that locks the doors closed, and also 2 little locks at the top here that just pull down, just scrap timber, and then a couple of handles to open it. Now it does open more or less the full width of the coop area, and the reason that is so you can just brush the floor, but the floor never needs cleaning really, because it's just geogrid, and any drop-ins on the night go straight through onto the grass, so they never need cleaning out. The only thing that needs cleaning out, if you used wood shavings or straw in the nest boxes, would be the nest boxes. I use AstroTurf in the nest boxes, and the reason I use AstroTurf is because I can pick it up and check to see if there's any red mite under them, and that's why I used plyboard as the actual siding for the chicken coop itself, so that red mite couldn't get into the plyboard. They can only hide in the corners where the framing is, and I use an old-timer's way of killing red mite, and that is a really strong bleach mixture, water and bleach, as thick as I can get it. That'll go through the sprayer, you know, one of them garden sprays, and then I just smother the inside of the coop area if I had red mite, but I don't, not in these, and that will kill the red mite. And I'll leave the back doors open, and I'd close the front door by just dropping this rope here, and the door would close. And then once the bleach is evaporated, well, I'll let the chickens in. So you have to do it early on the morning in the summertime, and then about 11 o'clock at night when the chickens will go back in, but it's still a little bit light, it'll evaporate it. But awesome little coop, and the chickens love it. There's a roosting pole in there, and they're all sat on the roosting pole on a night time, and it fits 10, 12 chickens perfectly. It goes right across the coop. But an excellent little chicken tractor that I designed using SketchUp. Now, you can get a free version of SketchUp, or you can get the pro version like I've got, which has got more tools, and it'll help you design a chicken tractor that might fit your garden and lots of other things, sheds or anything else, and you'll know how much timber you need, how strong you want to make it. So on the corners of this chicken tractor, you can see I have these triangles, and this is just like putting a full board around the corners, and it doesn't move hardly. It's like a shoebox. Without the lid, it'll twist. But if you put the lid on, it stops twisting. That's what them corner triangles do. They strengthen up the frame so it doesn't move, and there's ones on the bottom and then on the top going both ways. So guys, if you're thinking about keeping chickens, and especially if you're going to be breeding chickens and want to keep them pure, and you want to have a certain amount of breeds, then chicken tractors is a good way to actually breed them and keep the integrity of the breed intact. Nobody wants to sell fertile hatching eggs and then the customer gets them and, well, they're not what they asked for. You'll get a bad reputation. You want the customers coming back. Anyway guys, hope you liked the video, and if you did, hit the like button. If you want to subscribe, and you should subscribe, hit the subscribe button. If you want to be notified of more upcoming videos, hit the bell button. My name's Craig, you've been watching The Small Farmer Life. Thanks again to all my patrons. Couldn't thank you guys enough, and to the new patrons. Until next time, make sure you take care of yourself guys, be genuine, most of all take care of the family. Bye for now, see you.